The Chicago Bears just played one of the most frustrating, heart-stopping, and confusing games of the entire season, losing to the Lions in a sloppy performance, yet somehow, the football gods have smiled upon us. We lost the battle, but thanks to a miracle in Washington, we have officially won the war for seeding. It is destined, it is official, and it is going to be an absolute bloodbath. Bears vs. Packers, Part 3, for all the marbles. Before we break down this insane turn of events, do me a massive favor. Hit that like button, share this video with every Bears fan you know, and make sure you are subscribed right now so you don't miss a second of this playoff run. We need to have a serious heart-to-heart about what we just witnessed. Ben Johnson, the Lions' offensive coordinator, apparently loves beating Matt LaFleur twice a year, and now we have to see if he can beat us a third time? Wait, no, that's the wrong narrative. The narrative is that we have to play Green Bay. But before we look ahead, we have to look at the mess on the field today. I have such mixed feelings right now. On one hand, we are the number 2 seed. That is incredible. On the other hand, for 3 entire quarters, the Chicago Bears looked like they had never seen a football before. It was brutal. We were trailing 16-0 entering the fourth quarter. It felt hopeless. It felt lifeless. But then, as he has done so often, Caleb Williams finally woke up. He started moving the ball. He hit Walker on that beautiful post route for a touchdown. We got the 2-point conversion. Then we got a stop. Then we scored again on a spectacular catch by Colston Loveland. Cole Kmet took a massive shot on the 2-point conversion but held on to tie it at 16. For a second, you actually believed. You thought, oh my God, they are going to do it again. They are going to steal another game they have absolutely no business winning. But reality came crashing down. The Lions were driving. Jared Goff got hit with an intentional grounding call, setting up a seemingly impossible 3rd and 20. He goes for it all, the ball gets tipped, and Kevin Byard picks it off. He runs it back to the Bears' own 26-yard line. The stadium is shaking. The momentum is entirely with Chicago. And then? It fell apart. Caleb threw a slant to Luther Burden that was a little hot, sure, but you have to think a playmaker like Luther makes that catch. It fell incomplete. Then we see an intentional grounding call on 2nd down after Drew Dalman got absolutely trucked. Suddenly, we are staring at 3rd and 20. We pick up 15 yards, but then came the decision that I think we are going to be debating for a long time. Ben Johnson admitted he thought about going for it on his side, but our coaching staff decided to punt the ball away on 4th and 5 from our own 31-yard line with less than 2 minutes to go. Look, I get the logic of playing defense, but you are giving the ball back to a high-powered offense in scoring range. Why not at least put the offense out there and try a hard count? See if you can get them to jump off sides? If they don't jump, fine, take the delay of game and punt it then. I would have happily conceded 5 yards for the chance at a free first down. To me, that was a tactical error. But let's be honest with each other, was that punt the real reason we lost? Or was it the fact that the team came out looking completely lethargic for 45 minutes? Here is a rhetorical question for you. Can a team realistically expect to make a deep playoff run when they consistently sleepwalk through the first half of games? I think the answer is obvious. Caleb Williams had something like 75 passing yards through 3 quarters. 75. And then, he ends up with 212. He went absolutely nuclear in the fourth quarter. Once again, the Iceman persona came out, but it was too little, too late. You cannot expect to pull a rabbit out of a hat every single week. This has to be a wake-up call. It has to be a learning opportunity heading into the postseason. The message in that locker room all week needs to be that you cannot get shut out for 3 quarters and survive against elite teams. We were lucky to even be in that game. The Lions missed a field goal. They settled for red zone field goals when they should have scored touchdowns. If Detroit was just a little bit sharper, we aren't talking about a 19-6 loss. We are talking about being down 27-0. We didn't deserve to win this game. But just like they have done all year, this team found a way to give themselves a glimmer of hope. They fought, but they couldn't complete the comeback. Now we flush it. We move on. We focus on the Green Bay Packers. But before we get too hyped, there are some serious concerns we need to address from this game, specifically regarding injuries. CJ Gardner-Johnson left the field, and it was unclear if it was a head injury or an arm injury. He looked dazed, but his arm was also hanging weirdly. We need clarity there because, frankly, he really struggled in coverage today. I give CJ a lot of credit for coming in off the street when we had injuries earlier in the year, but teams have realized something. If you get him in man-to-man coverage against a premier receiver, he is going to lose. He is not defending Amon-Ra St. Brown one-on-one. Amon-Ra went for something like $140 today. He makes good corners look bad, but CJ is really a downhill safety playing out of position at nickel corner. When you run into a matchup like that, you are going to get picked apart. The good news is that Green Bay doesn't have an Amon-Ra St. Brown. However, they do have Christian Watson, who has made CJ look silly in the past. We need to know his status. If it is a concussion, will he clear protocol before the playoff game? We don't even know if we are playing Saturday, Sunday, or Monday yet. This leads me to the big defensive question. Is there a chance Kyler Gordon comes back? If he is eligible to be activated off short-term IR and is medically cleared, I am activating him immediately. What do you have to lose? If it's another soft tissue issue, you have the whole offseason to heal. I don't know if he can go full throttle, but if he can give us 25 snaps of high-quality coverage, you take it. Because right now, we are struggling defensively as a unit. I have to give credit to the defensive play calling in the red zone, though. Detroit only scored 19 points despite putting up over 430 yards of offense. That is the bend don't break formula. You give up yards, but you force field goals and get timely takeaways. We got one huge interception, but it felt like we needed that second one to really flip the script. If we are going to beat good teams in the playoffs, the defense has to find that second takeaway, or the offense has to stop disappearing for hours at a time. Speaking of disappearing acts, we need to talk about DJ Moore. He was getting checked out late in the game, and I'm not sure if he is banged up or what. I thought I saw him go back in, but it's unclear. It is always a balancing act with DJ. Last week he plays through the flu, which was heroic. The weeks prior against the Browns and Packers, he was our best player. But today? One catch for 11 yards. There was a play where Evan Maddox bodied him and picked the ball off, and even Tom Brady on the broadcast called it out, saying you expect DJ to at least go up and fight for that ball. I did not think the effort was there today. I know everyone is worried about his future contract, but we need more from him right here and right now. You cannot have your star receiver vanish. It's the same conversation we have about Montez Sweat. You are a great player, but for the money you are making, we need consistent production. So, here is the question of the day, and I want you to sound off in the comments section below. Are you concerned about DJ Moore's lack of production in this game? Or do you think it was just the result of the offensive scheme failing as a whole? Let me know what you think. Let's look at the playoff picture because this is the silver lining. Despite losing our last two games, the Bears are the number 2 seed. Philadelphia rested their starters and lost to Washington. The Commanders played basically all backups too, but they pulled off the upset. Honestly, that might be a massive mistake by Philadelphia. If they had won, they would have had the 2 seed. Now we host the Packers. The Eagles get the Niners, and the Panthers play the Rams. Seattle locked up the number 1 seed. If you had told me before the season started that the Chicago Bears would go 11-6, win the NFC North, get the number 2 seed, and host the Packers in the first round, I would have signed that contract in blood. Bring it on. Let's do it. Does this team have flaws? Absolutely. Every team in this bracket has flaws. But we are ahead of schedule. We have had a magical season. Would I pick us to win the Super Bowl right now? Probably not. The defense has holes, and the offense is too sporadic. We score 2 touchdowns in a flash, and then go dormant for a quarter and a half. We have to be more consistent. But I am still fired up. This atmosphere at Soldier Field is going to be electric. Do not be afraid of the moment. Do not be afraid of the what if regarding the Packers knocking us out. So what if they do? You won 11 games. You won the division. You are playing with house money. But I think this team expects to win. The Packers have lost 4 in a row coming into this, even though they rested starters today. We have lost 2 in a row. Both teams are limping in, but only one is playing at home. I think the Bears can win this game. If we come out with even half the energy we showed in the fourth quarter right from the opening kickoff, we win this game. It is that simple. We are the number 2 seed. We are hosting the playoffs. And we get one more shot at Green Bay. Let's freaking go.